It's very unfortunate that the finance minister spoke in that manner. Is he trying to tell us that the encouragement to save, and primarily to save with government bonds, is not of benefit to the government? Is that what he's trying to tell us? Andy, this is just akin to somebody coming to borrow 1,000 cedis from you, unable to pay over time, and then he calls you and says, no, 40 cedis, G. So unim say biasi can mean to mean to ya. Entina what the mania me 40 cedis na me what G. This is what it means. This is what he's trying to tell us. Dr. Amin Adam is being very disrespectful to those of us who have lost our savings, because the government uses those bonds that people save to run the country. So if you have defaulted, first of all, you use 22 billion cedis to solve a 9 billion cedi problem. Close down banks, people's jobs. It is estimated that over 80,000 people were affected directly and indirectly. You yourself have said people have died as a result. Some people who retired were supposed to enjoy the benefits thereof of their retirement, were told that come back when you are 78 years old, when the life expectancy of an ordinary Ghanaian man is 62 years. And then you come and tell us, oh, Munji, this is what we can. And inshallah, when Dr. Bawumia comes. So where was Dr. Bawumia when all this was going on? Was he not the EMT chairman? Is he not the one who had the so-called golden team in place that had all these players? The economic management team, which, in the words of my sister Beatrice Annan, just fizzled into thin air and became gaseous. How are we now supposed to understand what he's telling us? Randy, let me give you another side. And you have a PhD. So hopefully your PhD is more important than a foreign passport. But you understand what I'm about to say. Randy, there's a section of the people who lost money because of arbitrage of the banks at the time that the CD was falling. You see what I'm saying? People who had treasury bills, when the CD was tanking, they wanted their treasury bills back, and they were told that the government said they shouldn't be paid because treasury bills are called accounts. By the time all was said and done, the value of those T-bills had plummeted completely. Even when and if they got their money back, it was worth nothing. How is Dr. Amin Adam going to recompense those people? How are those people going to be paid? The people who died, the people who couldn't afford medication, the people who are sick today because of what happened. How are you going to pay them? And you are telling us that we should know that you were not forced, in essence. Randy, what we understand, or what we have understood and been preached to by our parents, by our education, is that if you're a young person, save. Now we are being told by the finance minister of all people that savings is not compulsory. It doesn't matter. Read the small print.
But the truth is that when you decide on where to save, how much to save, that is your decision. It's not the government's decision.
Randy,
you decide that there are all these investment companies or fund management companies who have all created products, or banks who have all created products.
But Randy, the government bonds, it is not just them. I haven't even gotten to the investment.
Yeah, government bonds are different.
The government bonds themselves became an issue. So if you cannot rely on the risk-free rate that we are preached to by the government, what can you rely on? The most important, look, it was a cascading effect of government bonds failing that caused the private finance houses to also fail, because they also invest in government bonds, government securities. That's the truth. So the finance minister should have found a way. At least Ken Ofori-Atta said he was sorry. Right? But you are telling us that we should know that it is not a compulsion. There's a law in this country that requires salaries to be paid into bank accounts. Why are we not saying that if you are going to pay me, give me my money so I'm going to put it under my bed? You see, what Dr. Amin Adam should understand is that what they have done has created a crisis of confidence in the banking sector that will last for generations. After he is dead and gone, after we are dead and gone, people will not be happy with what has gone on. And instead of apologizing, you just offhandedly tell us that, okay, so from now on, what people are going to preach is that before this government came to power, nobody knew your bank account was not safe. And I've been saying this thing every time I come here. Before Ken Ofori-Atta became finance minister, we didn't know that our bank account was not safe. Now Amin Adam is telling us that. So your bank account is not safe. So if somebody tells everybody in this country that go and collect all your money from the bank, hypothetically, because your bank account is not safe and the finance minister has said it, and there's a run on the banks, what will happen with our fragile economy? He tells us that, oh, our economy will perform. What he doesn't tell us is that our debt to GDP ratio is projected to hit 94% by the end of 2024. How is that an improvement? You have been given relief on debts you owe. How is that an improvement when you are already not paying the debts? We are not paying. So this news that you read is all mogul.
Well, at least it reduces your debt profile. It reduces.
I'm saying we haven't been paying.
Yes.
So what relief is it to us anyway?
But it still sits on our books. And anytime we calculate the debt, especially when the exchange rate tanks, it obviously raises it. Yes.
What does it do to the pocket of the ordinary man? Absolutely nothing. Because there is even a time lag for these economic indices when they are read for it to even be reflected in anybody's pocket. The fact of the matter is that we owe a lot of money due to a lot of mismanagement, borrowing. These people took power on the guise of telling us that President Mahama had borrowed too much money. Do you remember?
Yes.
That was at 120 billion. Today, 680 billion. More than 5 times what had accrued from Gojisberg to President Mahama. What have they done with the money? Randy, as we speak now, we don't have a proper motorable highway between Accra and Kumasi. As we speak today. And yet, we are able to commit $250 million to building a new headquarters for the Bank of Ghana. Who, just for the record, just as a conversation, printed 86 billion Ghana cedis in money they shouldn't have printed. Right? The governor of the Bank of Ghana is getting a $10 million mansion. For doing what exactly? That's
an official residence. It's not.
Randy,
it's not a.
These are
it's not a retirement benefit.
It is the coagulation of these things that I'm enumerating that causes us to owe the kinds of money we owe. Randy, you and I are both sports people. We love sports. You and I have been in football and sports, boxing for a long time. Did we need to spend $250 million hosting All Africa Games at a time like this? Did we? Did we? Did we need to spend $58 million digging that black hole?
It's brown.
It's what?
Brown.
Yes, it's a brown hole. Right? Digging that abyss, $58 million. I mean, at the very least, put some fish in it and let it become something that we can exploit.
Tilapia farm.
Yes. Put something in there. Right? It is there. We have spent other monies, including giving a consultant. I mean, the whole government was scammed by somebody who claimed they were going to get more money for the project, and they gave the person $6 million to get more money for the project. These are the things that has caused us to be where we are today. We have a president who rents a private jet on our account, travels around the world, goes to cities like London, goes to stay in the most expensive hotel suite in the whole of the United Kingdom at our expense. Randy, you know London very well. You know Claridge's Hotel. You've heard of the Prince Alexander Suite. That is where the president stays when he travels outside. Where we are as a country, do we need anybody to do that to us? And when you do it, when you talk about it, his defense minister will tell you that he has to come and have a shower whilst he's in the air. So because of that, he cannot take a passenger aircraft. Before he became president, what was he taking? After he becomes president, what will he be taking? Even presidents like your good friend Cyril Ramaphosa, who are billionaires in their own right, they fly commercial. So what are we doing? What are we doing? We spend, this government has over quintupled the amount of money they send to the presidency since they came into power. At the last count, it was well over 2 billion. Why? What do they do with all that money? I haven't even yet begun to talk about the corruption, which costs us interminable amounts of money. Randy, the catapult. You are an honorary citizen of the Volta region. The catapult. Why have we spent money on it? There's only a signboard there.
They're going to spend about $10 million to build an administration.
To do what?
An administration block.
Oh, okay, good. That will come. So add that to the debt, right? And then the Pualugu dam. We have spent $30 million to buy some blocks that the Chinese contractor has sold and left the country. Randy, trust me when I tell you all these things add up. This morning, when I was coming here, there was traffic, a lot of traffic around Gold House, right? So I opted to go through Nima, the Nima Highway. Do you know the state of that Nima Highway? And yet we have found $30 million to give to a Chinese contractor to carry the money and go. $30 million will fix that road in an instant. It just needs 2 or 3 coats of bitumen. And these are the things that I'm talking about. And yet Dr. Bawumia will tell us, oh, when it comes, I'm sure if you say it right now, I'll tell you digitalize the Nima Highway. So that the cars can digitalize themselves as they cross, they jump into the potholes. There are so many things that are going on in this country that shouldn't go on. Right? We are at a zenith of poverty. We are being taxed. We are being taxed through every orifice in our body. Randy, we are the only country on this planet who are still paying taxes for COVID. How do you pay taxes because you fell ill? I'm not sure whether you got COVID, but I did.
I did.
Right? It is a horrible disease to get. I've gotten it twice. It's a terrible disease to get. Why am I paying taxes for getting it? Because the government took largesses, distributed it to their foot soldiers. Some of them confessed to getting it, including the now parliamentary candidate for Sagnaribu, who said she was given 150,000 cedis to distribute to her people. Right? And if you repeat this across board, then Honorable Chinya, who's a deputy minister, may have gotten like 2 million. Right? And it goes around. For that reason, and what they forget is that when you do that, you still have to pay. So we are in a position now where we owe money. Debt is coming out of everywhere. Right? Unfortunately, we have a government that keeps telling us that everything is okay when it's not okay. We have an emperor who's fiddling while Rome is burning. And his little associates is his deputy emperor is even worse. He doesn't just fiddle, he plays the tuba and plays the trombone, he plays the piccolo, he plays the oboe, he plays everything. Because everywhere Dr. Bawumia gets to, he says something else.